y'all, and welcome to We Find Joy, where we are unapologetically living a joyous life. And today we are going to be talking about how to pay off debt. The two most popular ways to pay off debt is the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. So we're going to be talking about each one and then determining for ourselves what is going to be the best plan for our finances. This is a episode in our Money Made Simple, the Budget Blueprint course that we are doing here on YouTube, where at the end of the course, you will create a bold budget. And what is a bold budget? It's a budget that you believe in, a budget that is objective, a budget that you can leverage, and a budget that you can depend on. And we need to create a bold budget because having a budget will help us to create and meet our financial goals. The last video that we just did was all around figuring out how much debt we have. If you don't have any debt, you can skip this video. But if you do have debt, which most people in this world do, it's important for us to be realistic, be vulnerable, be intentional about writing down, understanding what debt that you have and making a plan to pay it off. Because the more money that you can go towards not having to pay on your debt can go towards your financial goals, whatever that might be. Savings for a house, savings for a car, savings for a trip, savings for retirement. Anything that you want to put money aside for, you can use the money that is going to debt right now to go towards those things. So if you want to be a part of this course, I have a playlist down below with all the videos up until this point. This pamphlet, this workbook is a part of the series. You can go onto my website, www.theboldjoyco.com, to get the workbook. It's a companion resource that goes along with every one of the videos. Very hands-on, very engaging. It really helps you as you are working through this course. So let's dive into it to talk about debt. So we need to figure out what plan is going to be best for us. So I'm on page 17 in the workbook, and the two most popular debt payoff methods is the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. For the debt snowball, some of the characteristics of the debt snowball is that you focus on your smallest debts first. So you'll list all of your debt. You'll list the balance from smallest to largest, as well as your interest, but your balance is going to be the thing that you are going to really focus on. And what you do is you focus on your smallest debt first, and then once you pay that off, you go to either the next smallest, then you go all the way until you are finished paying off your largest debt. It prioritizes the balance that you have. And something that a lot of people like about the debt snowball is that it builds motivation, because you're seeing those like quick responses. You're getting those smaller debts out of the way. You're using that snowball. You're using that money to help you on that next debt that you're working on. And it just really helps you to stay consistent, because you're seeing the progress and you're seeing your debt going away on a more progressive way. And then it's a good option if you have multiple debts. So if you have more than 3 debts, I would say. For me, I have 6 right now. When I started our journey, we had 12 debts. This is it's good for people that have multiple, because again, it shows you the progress and it helps motivate you to keep going. The debt avalanche is where you prioritize your interest rate. So you'll start with your highest interest rates first. So instead of looking at your balance, you'll look at what your interest rate number percentages are, and whatever the highest percentage is, that's the debt that you're working on. Even if the amount and the balance isn't as high, you want to focus on the interest to get those higher interest rates out of the way. Like I said, it prioritizes interest rates. This one has a little bit slower progress, but you're still seeing the impact. This is kind of like having a longer haul where you can't necessarily see the debts being paid off that fast, but once you get the higher percentages paid off, it goes a little bit faster for some of the other ones. And you pay less in interest because you're focusing on getting those higher interest paid off first, instead of sometimes for the debt snowball, your higher interest ones are towards the higher balances. So those are the main differences between the two. There is a website called undebt.it, and you put in all of your numbers. So I actually did it, and I'll put in a picture of what it looks like and how to get to it and putting in all your information. And then you can indicate on the website to see what your payment schedule will look like for the debt snowball, and then what your payment schedule would look like for the debt avalanche. It gives you a picture of like when you should be able to pay off your debt if you only put in $200 additional payment or no additional payment, or if you're able to put an additional payment of $1,000, how many months that takes off of you having to pay off your debt. So that is the debt snowball, debt avalanche. The main thing is that the debt snowball starts off with the smallest balance first, and the debt avalanche starts off with the largest interest first. And with the debt avalanche, I think of like an avalanche where at the top, when the avalanche starts, it's this huge gust that comes down the hill, and then at the bottom it kind of tapers out a little bit, but you're starting off high to get that interest down, so that way you are actually paying more on the balance instead of more on the interest. So for me, what I found works best for me is the debt snowball, because I like to see the small wins. It keeps me motivated. So for me, the debt snowball is going to be the method that I use. And then in the workbook, what you can do is look to see for each debt where your amount goes to. So for me, if I look at my list, Peloton. So the debt name is Peloton. The interest rate for the Peloton is 0. My starting balance is $246. The due date, I think it's I think it's like the 20th. And then you can put when you want to pay this off by. So for me, I want to pay it off this month. So that means that I have to pay $246 this month. So my balance would be 0. All right, then I go to my next debt. It's a bank loan. The minimum payment for this was, what was it? $61.50. So I'm just going to put $61.50 up here, so that way I know how much I can roll over to this. So my bank loan number 2 interest rate is $21.24. No, I keep saying $21. 21%. Starting balance is $612. The due date, I think it's the 1st, and then the minimum payment is, let's see, $348. It might be lower because it's almost paid off, but I'm just going to keep it at that much because then that'll help me pay it off. So for this month, I'm going to pay $348. And this is how we're going to see how our debt's going to break down each month for each one. This is kind of our guesstimate. So the balance that I have now, 612 minus 348, and again, I know I'm not taking into consideration the what's it call it, the interest. You can, it's just easier for me not to. I know it doesn't give the full accurate amount, but for me, as close as I can get to it, with it just being even. Then, so I know I have $264 left. So February, I'm going to pay the $264 to get this to 0. The next one is travel. For travel, it's $23. 13. And if you use the undeaded calculator, it does all the interest for you, so you can just actually calculate it out and then just put it in here, so that way you can see it and you have the most accurate numbers. Starting balance is $2,604, and then I'm just going to say the 5th, I might be wrong, and that minimum payment is $260.70. All right, so January, I'm paying $260.77. So this is a good one to show. All right, so 2604 minus, and I don't know why. Oh, there we go. My son took off the thing. Minus 260.77. So the balance is 2,343.23. All right, so I still need to put in, I'm not going to be able to do a debt snowball until March because I still have to pay off this up here for this one in February. So I'm still going to do the 260.77. Seriously. Now, if I get extra money out of somewhere, oh, you best believe it's going to go to an additional payment. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with the standard snowball method for what we're doing. All right, so March, I'll be able to put in the $61.50 plus the $348, you can't see it, the $348, and then I'll be able to put in the $260, meaning that now, starting in March, I can put in $670.27 because I've rolled over the minimum payments to this one. So now, instead of paying $260, I've tripled that almost, kind of. So 2082.46 minus 670.27. So this is 1412.19, and then I'll just keep doing it until I pay it off. Now, May, I could do an additional 670. I can do the 670, and then I'll still have some remaining. But typically, when I know I'm almost close and it's almost close to paying it off based on what my minimum payment is, I'll just go in and find a way to move some money over so I can pay off the total amount. So that is 0. So when I get to May, I'll be done this one. So for my next one, it's the bank loan. Interest rate is 25.34.24. Starting balance is 5048.72. This is like the 25th. And that minimum payment is $162. And so for here, so for this one, the estimated payoff date is February. For this one, it's May. So I'll be doing the minimum payments all the way until June, because now I have already paid off this in May. So now I can do my debt snowball in June of this one. So I count up what the minimum payments are. So 162 plus 260.77 plus 348 plus 61.50. So that's an additional $832.27. That then will go towards my balance. And I'll just quickly do it so you can see the difference. 5048. I gotta take the paper out because it's too tight. All right, so it's, oh, what did happen? 504872 minus 162. 488672 minus 162. 472472 minus 62. 456272 minus 40072. And then this is where we do the big mama jamma, 27, and that is, you see how much we've now come down? That's crazy. 40645. So this will be pretty much the same, I believe, minus 832.27, 2574. Oh wait, it might not be as far as I thought. $1,741.91. 909.64. So actually, this month, remember when it gets close, so September, I'm hoping to pay off this one. Then you go on to the next one. So you just keep doing the same thing. Not because the student loans and the other line of credit, it's not getting paid this month. But what I would do is, instead of the $415, because the next one is my student loans, and that is $65,000. But instead of the $415 that I will be putting towards it when I get to October, it will be $1,324. And so as much, that's a lot more than, that'll bring down the number of times that I have to pay if I just did the minimum payment. So that, I hope, shows you what the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method is. And in the workbook, you have enough, I think I gave you 12. Yeah, I gave you 12 different schedules for debt payment, so you can see where you'll be for the year. And but again, if you get additional payments outside of just your debt snowball, put it towards your debt, because the sooner that you can pay off the debt, the better. All right, so I hope this video was helpful and that you are going to work through your own debt payment and figure out what method's going to work best for you. Have a great rest of your day. See you in the next video, where we will be talking about, y'all were there, the steps. The steps to create a budget, and then we're about to get into doing it. We have a case study, and then we'll talk about monthly and debt payments, and then that's it. I'm so excited. See ya.